Hey there, everybody. Don Evans here from WatchReport.com, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Glycine Airman Airfighter. I wanted to show it on my wrist here first, and we'll talk about the size and dimensions. You have a 46 millimeter case, a lug to lug or length of the case of 56 millimeters. As you can see on my wrist, this is a large watch. 24 millimeter lug width, and it is 15 millimeters thick. Sapphire crystal, and the movement here being used is what Glycine calls the GL754, or it is based on the Valjoux 7754, hence where they get the model name for the movement, which we will talk about in depth here, and I'll show you the movement. It has a beautifully decorated rotor and movement that you could see through the exhibition caseback. Retail price on this is somewhere between $46 and $47.50. That is $4,750. So somewhere in between that price range. It was hard for me to find out exactly what the price is on this. Now, that is pricey, and especially on the pricey side for Glycine. But there are a few reasons for it, especially considering the movement alone. But there are a couple other reasons for that, which I will get into detail here in a second. You can see it has a DLC buckle, which matches the DLC that is on the bezel and your sliding actuator for the chronograph. Okay, we'll talk about that here in a minute. Let me take the watch off. Now we'll give you a close-up look at the dial. Now, I'm going to be the first to admit there is a lot going on with this dial. As you can see, the middle circle, it has the blue accent. There are also a couple of variations of colors of this. If you take a look on the Glycine website, I know one of them is red. Okay, you can see the blue circle underneath there a little bit better. And your other accent of color, and it might not be showing up here on the video that well, but your other accent of color is actually a rose gold. I think it's coming across as more of a goldish tone here on my camera, but it is definitely more of a rose gold in person. So you can see you have your chronograph. There is your sub-second dial. A little hard to see that, and it only has the 60 marker there, and then it has the little dashes, so a little hard to keep track accurately of your seconds. Your date window is outlined in the rose gold as well, and there you can see your applied Glycine logo. You do have a GMT hand, and you could use this bezel to track another time zone. And speaking of the bezel, let me show you how that works here. Okay. The crown here at the 4 o'clock position actually is for the bezel. So what you do is unscrew it. And now you can move the bezel to where you would like. Okay. And it is a bidirectional bezel. This is not a unidirectional bezel like a dive watch would be. Okay. And then you screw this back down, and it will lock the bezel in place. Okay. Now, another neat feature is the way that the GMT hand operates. So you'll unscrew your main crown. Now, if you pull it out all the way, you're going to be able to set the time like normal. Okay. When you go to just the date, when you go up, it will set the date. When you go down, you could set your GMT hand. So it is an independent GMT hand. Okay. Now, as far as the chronograph goes, as opposed to your normal chronograph buttons, your normal pressed, or your normal chronograph buttons that you would depress, to start and stop the chronograph, you have what they call the sliding chronograph actuator here. As you can see, it gives you the instructions here. Okay, reset, you go to the left here, start and stop, you go to the right. So you click that up, apologize there, and it will start the chronograph. You click it up again to stop, and then you pull it down to reset. Pretty ingenious, I think. I don't want to say it's more useful than the regular way of using a chronograph. It is definitely unique and different. It also gives the watch a different look, of course, with this actuator here on the side of the case. Is it easier? I mean, obviously I'm doing this from behind the camera. Is it easier to turn on the chronograph than pressing buttons? I don't know, not really. Maybe a little more fun because you get to do that. Now, in terms of durability, that is something that I am not sure of. And how many times that you're going to be sitting there using the chronograph. And if this mechanism would break, it is not something I could talk about, but it is something to think about. As you can see, you have screw bars here for your lugs for your strap attachment. Give you a good look here at the bezel. Take a look at the crown side of the case. This is all high polished, as you can easily see. Now moving on to the case back. Try and get you the best shot here. The case back that I can. Let's see how close up we can get. There we go. There is a great look at the GL754 movement, or the Valju 7754. You'll also notice that instead of having a big plate here on the back that they usually engrave all the information to, that is done underneath the glass on the inner side or on the outer edge of the movement itself. There you can see Glycine Airman and that cutout plane. Beautiful looking movement in my personal opinion. I saw some comments, people saying that they thought it could have been decorated a little more or that it wasn't as good. I don't know. Personally, you turn that around, you see that. I think that's pretty sweet looking. But again, that is just my personal opinion. Trying to give you the best look here at the movement that I can. When it comes to the leather strap that is provided, it is a beautiful black calf leather. This is actually, in my personal opinion, an upgraded strap from Glycine. Now, I'm not trying to knock any company or anything like that, but as always here, a real honest review. In the past, I've felt that sometimes the Glycine straps weren't the best. This is actually a really nice leather and very, very comfortable on the wrist. You got your brown or tan backside here. Very smooth, very comfortable. The only thing I can comment on, on a watch like this at a price like this is, you're having your stamped buckle here. And it's been something I've said about Glycine watches for a good few years now, though. I'd like to see them upgrade their buckles. On a watch like this, on a leather strap, and it's a heavy, this is a heavy chunk of a watch, obviously. I mean, look at the size of it. It would have been nice to have a nice custom dual deployment clasp that you could have used on the leather strap. It would save wear on the leather strap and would also give it that more high-end feel and look. Now, personally, for me, the dial is just there's a lot going on there. There's a lot to read there because of the choice of the black outlined hands here. It is very hard to distinguish at a glance the time. Now, I know they tried to do it with the way they did the rose gold arrow tip and the markers here on the hour and minute hand. They tried to make it stand out a little bit. I still think it gets lost a little bit, especially with the GMT hand there, and then of course these big subdials. Now, at night in the dark, it was very surprising the first time I took a lume shot. The whole outer track glows. Airfighter is actually, done in lume paint. So check out the full review on watchreport.com. Check out the lume shot. It's also multicolored, a mix of blue and green. So you're going to want to check that out. It's actually pretty cool looking. Not that, Airfighter being loomed is going to do anything to help you see the time, but when your watch is going in the dark, you might have some people commenting, and it's something a little different. And hey, let's be honest, when you're paying, $4,500 for a watch, not everything is about practicality. You want to have some cool factor, you want to have some bragging rights. Otherwise, why are we spending $4,500 on a watch? But there is my video look at the Glycine Airman Airfighter. Check out the full review at watchreport.com. There'll be a link in the description below. Leave a like or a comment here on YouTube, but please try and be respectful. This is a watch channel after all. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You'll never miss another video review. Follow us on social media. We are on Facebook. We are on Twitter. We are on Instagram. You're always going to want to check us out there. We do contests. We do sneak peeks of the watches leading up to the review. This has been Don Evans for watchreport.com. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.